All right, guys, we're going to solve absolute value inequalities. We're going to do this algebraically. All right, so as we did this, we broke this down into piecewise originally. We found out that there was two equations. So that's what we're going to do is break it down into two equations. We know that we start with the original equation, which is simple. 2x plus 5 minus 1 is greater than 3. There's the original one. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to break it down to the other one, which is, remember, we have the positive value, the original value, and then we have the opposite value within the absolute value. So all I'm going to do is break that down. I'm going to say, okay, well, I've got 2 parentheses. The opposite of x plus 5 is just simply negative x minus 5. And remember that the outside stays exactly the same, minus 1 greater than 3. Now, from here, we just do basic algebraic solving. All right, so I can go ahead and distribute this 2 in if I want to. So I could say 2x plus 2 times 5 is 10 minus 1, which is greater than 3. And then I have 2x, 10 minus 1 is 9, plus 9 greater than 3. I'm going to get rid of that positive 9 by subtracting 9. And that is going to give us 2x is greater than negative 6. And then I just divide by 2. And I have x, which is greater than negative 3. Okay, that's how you do the first one. Now, the second one, remember, is the opposite one. So we use, this is the one for the opposite in the piecewise. And from here, we do the exact same thing. It's just going to turn out a little bit different. So I'm going to take that 2 and I'm going to distribute it in. And notice what happens. It was a positive x. It was a positive 5. Now it's the opposite. I just write negative 2x. And 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 minus 1 greater than 3. And I just keep working from there. Negative 2x, we combine these, gives me negative 11, which is greater than 3. I'm going to add the 11 over, okay? And we're going to get negative 2x, which is greater than 3 plus 11 is 14. And then I'm going to divide by negative 2. Now, the one thing we do need to remember, okay, is so we're going to have x come out. We are going to have 14 divided by negative 2, which is negative 7. But because we divided by a negative, we need to flip the inequality, okay? And so that's what I'm going to do here. This actually flips. So let's write that, flip. And that is only because we are multiplying or dividing by a negative, okay? And now what we have is we've got 2 answers. We've got x is greater than negative 3. We've got x is less than negative 7. If I was to graph this, I would say, okay, well, I know that I've got negative 3. It's an open circle. And I want all the values that are greater than. Okay. And then I have x is less than negative 7. So negative 7 would be down here. And I want all the values that are less. Well, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10 are less than. And that's how we would graph it. Okay. And we could also write this in interval notation. We could say this is negative infinity to negative 7. Open parentheses, remember, those are unincluded values. Okay, or then we have negative 3 to positive infinity. And that's how we do it. Remember, the first thing we need to do is we need to break it into its 2 equations, one being the original one and one having the opposite within the absolute value. Then we're going to do basic solving. If we divide by a negative like we did here in this equation, we do need to flip the inequality. Okay, and then from there we can graph and we can write our interval notation answer. Awesome. I hope that helps you out today. Y'all have a great day.